Hi, my name is Eri Neeman. I am a host, and one thing I'd like to talk about today is something that I feel that is not discussed very much in terms of the wedding program within the wedding industry, and that is live feed. Now, what is live feed? Live feed is basically hiring a camera crew to capture, of course, what's happening in front and feed it towards the LED screen. Now, this is usually done with guests that are about, let's say, 200 and up. If you have 150, 180 guests, that's fine because you can still lay out the tables in a way where everyone still feels involved in terms of what's happening in front of them. If it's more than that, I would say live feed is suggested, if not absolutely necessary, so that everyone feels part of the program. What happens is if you do not have live feed, especially if your layout is not it's not around the main stage. If it's, let's say, it's like rows on top of each other, the people at the back will really not feel like they're part of what's going on, or what the couple is saying, or what's going on in front of them. They can't feel it because they're too far. So a live feed usually solves that problem because they see it and they feel that they're a part of it, they can hear it. So I mean, that pretty much gets everyone involved in the celebration. What happens if you don't have live feed? The people in the back will, one, not feel like they're a part of it. Some might feel bad about that. Two, will end up just going about their business and doing their own thing, text, not pay attention, or just worse, I think, is if they start talking, and then you can hear that, and it usually can interrupt, especially during messages from special people from the couple. It usually can interrupt that. So you would want to avoid that as much as possible. And a live feed, hiring a camera crew to feed what's happening in front to the LDZ screen solves that problem. So let's say you have gotten live feed. Wonderful. Again, to all couples, if you have 200 guests and above, live feed, I cannot stress how important it is. It just gets everyone involved, and you would want that. So if you can squeeze it in within the budget, if it is within the budget, then by all means, please, absolutely do get it, because it just makes a world of difference for everyone. So there, you have live feed. You got it. One thing that I think suppliers, especially coordinators, and couples, I think should absolutely keep in mind. If you do get a live feed, make sure the cameraman who's handling the camera knows how to capture what's happening properly. I've had so much weddings where it's just the cameraman does not know how to capture the moments and does not know how to frame it properly. Usually what happens is, if that doesn't happen, then what people are seeing is not properly absorbed because it's not framed properly. An example, they zoom in too much, or let's say they have a frame and there's a person in front and here's the couple, there's a person in front and here's the couple, and it's so distracting because there's a foreground that basically is so distracting, and it just doesn't complement everyone feeling what's happening in front of them. It doesn't support that because the framing is bad. One is also if the cameraman moves so much. I'm just highlighting these because if these are things that are happening, please do tell the coordinator, because they will fix that, and they should fix it. If the cameraman moves so much, and it's the best framing is if it's just like a frame that stays, it's just a standard frame that just captures pretty much everything, where you see everyone's going on. You see the couple talking, and if they have someone talking, that is captured as well. And you just see it clearly, and it's just stationary. It's a stationary shot. If it moves, it's distracting. People can't basically, they can't feel or absorb what's happening because the camera is moving. They either zoom in or they zoom in and out. They move here, they move there. It doesn't help people absorb what's happening. The cameraman might feel they're doing something, or maybe, while feeling director. I don't know. But it doesn't help, and I get very emotional about this because it ruins the program. It ruins the program. I mean, if the cameraman cannot capture what's happening in front of them properly, then people cannot absorb what's happening within that special day. For the couple, for the guests, they can, because they can. It's not framed properly. It's not captured properly. So one thing, if you do get live feed, make sure your cameraman knows how to capture what's happening in front, knows how to capture the couple, the guests were part of it, the dance, everything. Make sure it's framed properly. And the best way to usually do that is to have a space that is, of course, especially especially reserved for the cameraman, where it's just a nice, good shot. Okay, it's just a nice shot of what's going on. If you do not, let's say, have an idea of proper framing or proper how to capture it properly, then ask your videographer, ask your photographer to give a suggestion on where is the best spot for the live feed. They are experienced, they know how to capture things properly. They would be more than happy to help. Okay, so there you have it. Live feed is so important for people for guests above 200, and it's just even more important that if you have a live feed, make sure the cameraman captures things properly. If you do not know or have no experience in terms of what is a good frame, ask your videographer, ask your photographer. I'm sure they would be more than happy to help. So there you go, live feed, and yeah, please do get that. It's a huge help. And if you have a solid cameraman, then you have a solid experience and you have a great celebration for the couple and for the guests involved. So there you go.